So I've been trying to persuade you that money gets sold no differently to any product as long as you understand the rules of the game. And this particular video is a little bit more insider-ish than the average business owner will be accustomed to, but I think that's the point of this training material, to give you the insider secret. There's a hidden secret to securing low-risk loans to invest in that will sound actually quite simple when I say it out loud, but fund managers, the people who make lending decisions, are actually not consciously aware of it. Certainly the bankers aren't consciously aware of it. And that's the idea that if you have a super focused sales team, an origination team, your credit risk goes way down. It's counterintuitive because you often think of sales origination and credit risk as opposing forces. The entire credit system is actually set up that way to create a healthy tension between people in a sales role or a business development role and people in a credit assessment role. They obviously are mixed, but the idea is that someone incentivized to close deals needs to be held back by a stiff credit committee who keep the capital safe, because obviously that person wants to earn commission. And if you spend any time at all in my training, you'll know that I major on exactly how the fears of loss drive those decision makers so that you can obviously not manipulate the system, that's the wrong word, but understand what the rules of the game are. But here's the part that will only make sense to fund managers or credit committee members when I say it out loud. If you have only one or two deals to choose from, you tend to try and make those one or two deals work instead of just saying no. When you have 20 deals on your desk to choose from, you can take your pick on how exactly you're going to make this month's budget. And that's the secret. A mediocre credit risk team with a sales team that is just bringing in loads of deals will lose less money than the world's best credit risk brains with 7 actuaries and 500 computers if they only have one or two deals to look at, because invariably they'll try to make those one or two deals fit into their risk model and manipulate the security and so on. You see, even in finance, decision-making is actually way more of an emotional process than you think. The moment a fund manager has too few deals to assess, it sets them up for two opposing fears. The one fear is the loss of investor capital. A very legitimate fear because you lose your bottom line and you lose your reputation. It's a huge problem. But on the other hand, when too few deals are coming in, you have an equally legitimate fear of not doing enough business to pay the overheads, because people who sell money also have expenses. They need salaries. And that's also a big deal. And neither intelligence nor degrees are of much use when you're wrestling with those two opposing forces. Trust me, I've been through it. I had a really close business partner once, and we were both smart guys, experienced, qualified, good looking to both ourselves and our mothers. But we got to exactly this point where you had two colliding fears. We had one or two viable deals on the go for a number of reasons. A few deals had fallen through. We'd been on aeroplanes and just chasing this deal and that deal, and too many of them fell through. And there were some promising deals on the cards, but they were quite far on the horizon. And so you had two opposing legitimate fears at play. I was saying, no, this deal's too risky. And he was saying, it's actually risky not to do this deal, not to try and make it work, because there's bills to pay, there's overheads to cover. Both fears, totally legitimate, but they were driving two individuals in two very different directions. Chaos ensued, and nearly overnight the business was completely ruined. We eventually had to part ways, actually not long after that, all because you had two opposing fears of loss. And of course, the real secret behind stories like these is not to scare you or not to make you anything less than confident. Quite the opposite. If you understand how fear of loss drives capital decision making, it helps you navigate those fears and get the capital you want.